Bachelorette that need to be watched. So it's so funny, like Time Magazine always makes it about science. Science of yoga. That was from 99, I think. Science of meditation. That was from 2003. Even last year, what does it say? The mindful revolution, the science of finding focus. Like, really? We know this stuff intuitively, but the rest of the world requires the science to prove it. Well, guess what? The last 2 years have provided the science. Every possible skeptic on the planet now cannot block all the information that's coming from MRIs, from brain scans, from the way we can actually watch the brain. We can watch the pain centers of the brain. We can watch all the various aspects of our brain now. We can watch the meditating brain. We can watch the non-meditating brain. Does anyone read Sanskrit here? Come on, you know what that says. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Patanjali, they say he either lived 200 years ago before Christ or 200 years after. Somewhere in that 400-year period, 200 BC to 200 AD. Some people even say Patanjali wasn't even a person, like Lao Tzu. They sort of just attributed all this stuff to him. He wasn't really a yogi. He was the compiler of all things yoga. He was like the Matt Drudge of yoga. Just pulled it all together. And so he was the one who defined what meditation is. Essentially, yoga, union, oneness, is the progressive quieting of the fluctuations of the mind. That is the definition of meditation. That's it. We're not stopping thoughts. Impossible. We're not clearing the mind as if. Can't happen. We're progressively quieting the fluctuations of our mind. Let's say it together. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Cool. Let's do that one more time. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. That's it. That's the definition of meditation. Of course, now mindfulness is the trendy term for it. Meditation means you're going to get sucked into the cult. Mindfulness is, oh yes, we want mindfulness. Not meditation though. It's duh, same thing, but it's sexier. When I'm presenting to schools, I used to present, hi, I'd love to come into your school and teach all the kids to meditate. And they're like, no, you're going to do the mind control thing. You'll suck them into the cult. You'll teach them Sanskrit. You'll take away their religion. You'll get in the way of their connection to the Lord. But what I've often said is, if prayer is talking to God, meditation is listening. Right? We're doing all that talking from the time we're 5 years old. Please. But we're not listening. Just when stuff shows up, we're like, why is that happening? Well, because 35 years ago, you begged for it. And now here it is. But you don't remember. Somebody remembered, but you did not. So it's the progressive quieting of the fluctuations of our mind. That's it. Another term we use is restful awareness. So most of the time that we spend in our day is active awareness, right? We're in activity. And when we sleep, that's restful dullness. Only meditation is that restful awareness state. So I'll just give you 2 quick signs so that we know it's real now. This is what has disarmed everyone. And you throw in a little Yale and Harvard, and it's like, oh my God, it must be real. So University of Massachusetts, Mass General, with Yale and Harvard, 16 test subjects, 8 weeks, that's 56 days. MRIs before, during, and after, 30 minutes of meditation every day for only 56 days. Unanimous. Everyone, all 16 test subjects, experienced an increase in the gray matter of their hippocampus, which is the part of the brain responsible for learning, memory, and spatial orientation, hand-eye coordination. And all 16 test subjects experienced a shrinkage in the gray matter of their amygdala, which is the part of the brain responsible for fear, anger, anxiety. Totally cool, right? So now we know it works. And we could always say, Harvard and Yale. It's oh, it's real. Then another study, even more powerful. Well, I think it's really cool. University of Wisconsin-Madison, Dr. Richard J. Davidson, he's close personal friends with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who gives him super meditators. That's my term. But these are people who have 34,500 hours of meditation under their belt. Do the math on that. It's like each one of us meditating for an hour a day for 100 years. These guys also have at least 3 years of 8 hours a day of consecutive meditation. They are super meditators. You would agree with my terminology there. So he takes them and non-meditators, and he does like funny little experiments on them just to see what happens. And so this is my favorite experiment. They took a heated metal object and applied it to the flesh of the super meditators and to the non-meditators. They wired up their pain center in their brain, and they watched it. So they applied the heated metal object to the flesh of the that's like scientific for burning someone. So they applied the heated metal object to their flesh of the super meditators, poof, their pain centers fired. Then they applied the heated metal object to the flesh of the non-meditators, poof, and their brain centers fired. So it's like, okay, burning hurts. And it doesn't matter if you meditate. Then they changed the study just a little bit. They introduced this phrase: in 10 seconds, I will apply the heated metal object. Right? So what happened? The super meditators, in 10 seconds, I will apply the heated metal object. Nothing happened to their pain centers until they actually had their flesh burned. Then, of course, the pain center fired. For the non-meditators, unanimously, 50 of them, in 10 seconds, they didn't even have to touch the flesh. The pain center fired. How kooky is that? That ever happened to anyone? Project yourself into the future about something that may or may not happen, bring that pain into the present and feel the pain? I mean, we can extrapolate a lot more from that study, but like, that's what we're doing. There's probably people in this room who like raced to get last night. Who raced to come last night so you'd be here by 7 o'clock and you thought you were gonna be late and you had a fight in the car, or you like argued with somebody, or you're like so freaked out, like finally you came into the room and it turned out you weren't late. Raise your hand if that was you. Okay, it's only like 20 people. So imagine that. Multiply that by 8 billion people on the planet. We're doing that all the time. We're racing to get to the wedding so we can celebrate, and by the time we get there, we're never talking to the person we got there with, ever again. It's like, next wedding for you. So we know all the benefits of meditation. They're scientifically proven now, and no one can resist it. It's just a question of how do we find the time. So I'll teach you a secret. We need to have an object of our attention, whatever that is. Some object of our attention. So as we drift away to making lists and thinking about Disney World and wondering, is Wayne Dyer in the room right now and all this other stuff, then we can go, oh, I think I'll gently drift back to the object of my attention. So the technique I developed that I started teaching in the military, but now hundreds of thousands of people around the planet use it, it's called 16 seconds. Here's how it works. Essentially, you just watch your breath as it moves in, as you hold it, as it moves out, and as you hold it. So here's how it works. And you can teach this to anyone, especially non-meditators, because it works and it's great. So first, let's think about something that's been bothering us, something that's been disturbing us, just for the last couple of days. Don't go too deep. This is not therapy. Just a little bothered by something. Hopefully it's not me. Just a little irritated about something. Maybe you see that person's face in your mind's eye. Maybe you feel it in a certain part of your body, your throat, your Manipura chakra, your belly. And now close your eyes and through your nose, take a long, slow, deep breath in and watch your breath as it moves down to your belly. And when it gets there, hold it there. And keep watching it. Keep witnessing it. Keep observing it. And now release that breath and watch it move up your chest, move up your throat, out through your sinuses. Watch it flow out of you and hold that breath out and continue to observe it. And when it feels comfortable, suddenly start breathing normally. Just let it go. And when it feels comfortable, open your eyes. So